Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all of you. Sorry for the late announcement for this meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to decide on the investment portfolio. So without wasting time, I pleasure Mr. Hafi to talk about this. Before that, I would like to mention that we want to invest in about RM 1 million for this portfolio we choose. So I hope that you all can show us the best portfolio performance and not waste our capital.
Thank you, Mr. Hakim. My name is Muhammad Mr. Hafi. Firstly, I will introduce Interpac Dana Safi Unit Trust, which is a fund launched by the Inter-Pacific Asset Management (SDNBHD). The fund asset allocation approach is flexible. They invest in Sharia-compliant fixed income securities, equity shares, and money market products. Moving on to price behavior, unit trust price is determined by the net asset value (NAV), where the fund has performed well since its inception. The fund price increased by 233% from 39 cents in February 2020 to 91 cents in December this year. That's more than double the price difference. From the aspect of fundamental analysis, in general, was good. This is because the fund has a dividend yield of 0.68%, where the dividend are often paid back into the fund, and the price of the fund's unit rises in responses. The PE ratio of 38.32x and the PB ratio of 6.28x are considered high and overvalued compared with other unit trust funds in Malaysia. The return on equity is also not bad at 23.12%, and the ROA is excellent at 14.4%. Last but not least, based on the technical analysis, Interpac Dana Safi was at the price of 82 cents, where the fund is a great purchase according to the RSI reading when it reached 22.7 on May 11, 2021. The fund should then be sold when the RSI reading exceeds 78.48 on September 24, 2021 at the price of 95 cents. To sum up, Interpac Dana Safi is a good investment for long term because of their high growth in 2 years period from their launch until today. That's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hafi. As I said, the requirement for this portfolio are followed by the Sharia compliant as well. So thank you, Mr. Hafi, for the Interpac. Now we have the Genetic Berhad, so you can proceed about it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hakim. My name is Mr. Firdaus. Before I finalize the list on technical industries, I had done some research on the background company and their mining and main activities for the year. Genetec Technology Berhad is a Malaysian company that specializes in investing, holding, developing, and producing personalized factory automation equipment. For the price behavior, the overall change of the stock for the 12 months is 37.7, which leads to a return of profit 2,231%. From data given, only 4 months out of 20 months give a loss return. It can be said that Genetec Technology Berhad give a high return of profit for the last 12 months, which is short term. In the fundamental analysis for Genetec Technology Berhad, several indicators are utilized to determine the performance of a company. We can conclude that the weakness of the company is managing expense. The PE ratio shows that the company is not in a good condition. Company's EPS indicates that the company suffers a loss for every share of the stock. The price to book ratio indicates that the company is overvalued. Moreover, the company's return on equity for every ringgit of shareholders' equity held, the company suffer a loss of 5 cents. For Genetec Technology Berhad technical analysis, currently the chart is in a sideways situation. Secondly, for this stock, the MACD line is currently starting to cross the signal line. Next, the RSI near to the oversold condition. Based on the chart, if the three indicators are combined, the best price to buy this stock is the 35 ringgit and 39 cents. In sum, we can conclude that Genetec are not good for long-term investment because its fundamental analysis are not so good. That's all from me.
So thank you, Mr. Firdaus, for the portfolio of Jannata Berhad. So we move to the next portfolio with Mr. Danish.
Thank you for Mr. Al-Hakim for this opportunity. I will present my instrument. It's all about ETF Dow Jones. Let's start with the background of the instrument. My ETF Dow Jones Islamic Market Malaysia Titan 35 is the first Shariah exchange traded fund introduced in Asia. It is currently the third largest Shariah ETF in the world by asset size. It is designed to provide investment results that closely correspond to the performance of its benchmark index and was listed on the main market of Bursa Securities on 31st January 2008. First of all, the annual distribution that had been announced for this year is 2.37 cents per unit. And the dividend yield for this year is all about 2.08%. For the result by the end of the year 2021, both our ETF market price and the ETF net asset value face fluctuate graph. The fast and NAV per unit has decreased by 9.9% to RM 1.212 from RM 1.28 in the second half of the year 2031. Effect from the behavior of investor can make this ETF instrument to rise up the market price. And we move to the part of fundamental analysis. Several indicators are being utilized in observe the performance of this company. For the year 2020, the revenue of the company is RM 30.1 million, which is greater than 2031 that gain loss of RM 36 million. This shows the company expand its more than its revenue. For the profit of the company also having a bad result, which only gain the losses of RM 36.6 million to RM 39.3 million. To overcome this financial problem, this company needs to well manage every single of its transaction. Last but not least, in the part of technical analysis, we use the indicators of MACD to identify when the bullish or bearish momentum is high to identify the entry and exit point for the trade. The best time to buy when the blue line above the red line is started in March 2021 that show a good time to buy this instrument. And also show the signal to sell when the red line is above the blue line started on May 2031. The chart shows a fluctuating trend above RM 1.14 ringgit that indicate an overbought trend to overcome losses in the future. And I think this instrument is not giving a good performance for our company to invest in. That's all from me. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Danish, for the ETF Dow Jones. So we have the last portfolio, which is Mr. Hajimi.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Al-Hakim. So, wait a minute. Okay, so let's move the cash rate. So when we talk about the cash rates, we know that we invest in the property or real estate, such as in the hotels, healthcare, industrials, or commercials. So when we invest in the cash rate, we can estimate how the performance as cash rate when about investment on the property or real estate. So first, about the behavior of price and return as rates. So based on the graph, we can see that share price can be called steady because it has been less volatile than 75% of Malaysian market stock over the past month. So this means it shows that cash rate was low risk investment because it has a less volatility, and also the risk is diversified when invest in the property or real estate. So that means we can summarize that cash rate was a low risk investment and low profit return generated. So next, let's talk about the fundamental and technical analysis. So for fundamental, we can summarize that cash rate have a good financial health performance since it had high gross profit margin. They have a positive earning per share. That means shareholder get a good earning from the cash rate company, and also dividend. Also, cash rate was of the highest company that provide shareholder dividends in their sector market industry compared to other competitor. And lastly, also price to earning ratio also that the company has was a valuable market value share. So this means we can summarize that fundamental of cash rate was a good have a good financial performance. But in terms of the technical analysis, we can show that mostly indicator provide a signal sell. So this means it's very risky for us to invest in the cash rate for now. So what I can summarize in terms of cash rates, if we seek investment for long-term purpose, I think cash rate was a good place for us to invest, because before pandemic COVID, cash rate industry have a good performance, And I believe when it comes to 3 or 4 or 5 years in the future, cash rate can able to show a good performance against. So I think for long-term performance, it's very good for us to invest. But for short-term, I did not suggest it for us to invest for short-term performance for purpose management. So I think that's all for me related to the cash rates.
So Alhamdulillah, we are done about our portfolio presentation. So based on your portfolios, so I'm decided to pick up the KLCC rate presented by Mr. Hazimi and Interpack Dana Safi presented by Mr. Hafi for our investment destination. Okay, for the information, rates is about the low risk investment since the risk of investing is single property is spread out among a pool of properties. So KLCC rate is in the recovery phase among the Malaysian real estate investment trust industry. So I believe in the next 2 or 5 years in the future, based on the success of the vaccination program, so it will be a good long-term investment for us. And for the Interpack Dana Safi, the maximize capital gain in a medium for a long-term time frame. So the fund may invest between 70% or 95% of its net asset value. So to comply, security to accomplish its investment goals. So that's all for today. So do you have any addition or suggestions?
No, I agree with
No.
your decision, Mr. Hakim.
That is perfect.
All right. So that's all for today. I hope we can see for the next meeting in the next month or maybe next 2 months. So we end our meeting with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Mr. CEO.